Hello dear crocheters, my name is Tatiana Medintseva and you are on my crochet channel. In this video I'll be crocheting this awesome huge pumpkin with me. You know how important your likes and comments are to me. I've already told you that YouTube is starting to recommend this video more often based on likes and comments. Therefore, I ask you very much and hope for your support. I'm waiting for your likes and comments. It's no exaggeration to say that these pumpkins turned out absolutely gorgeous. Look at their size. I measured their circumference specially for you. The larger pumpkin is 79 cm, 31 inches in circumference, and the orange pumpkin is 26 inches. Which, by the way, is still larger than my waist. So, you can guess my waist size in the comments. This is a small digression. Now about the pumpkins. These pumpkins are different sizes, but they are crocheted using the same pattern. I'll tell you everything below. If you need the pattern in PDF format, you can purchase it in my Etsy shop or on Instagram. I wish you a creative mood. Have a wonderful time with me crocheting such a cool pumpkin. Let's get started. For the orange pumpkin, I used Himalaya Dolphin Baby yarn. This is color 368. This is such beauty. The leaves are leftovers from Yarnart Dolce yarn. I don't remember the number, it might not be there anymore. For the orange pumpkin, I needed 125 grams of yarn in the main color and 140 grams of stuffing. Now I want to make a pumpkin from Alize Velluto yarn. This pumpkin will be even larger. You can see that the orange pumpkin is big. This beige pumpkin will be even bigger. The beige yarn is 310. I'll tell you how much you'll need at the end of the video. For the tail, I also choose Alize Velluto, number 530. You'll also need stuffing for the pumpkin. I'll tell you the weight at the end of the video. This pumpkin will definitely need more than 140 grams as it will be larger. For the beige pumpkin, use a 5mm hook. For the orange pumpkin, use a 4mm hook. As usual, a needle with a blunt end, marker, scissors, and a regular needle and thread. You'll need thick thread to make the tightenings. Let's get started. Take the beige yarn and a 5mm hook. I'll attach a video for beginners in the tips in the upper right corner. Go ahead and watch. There I show and explain in more detail how we crochet. How we begin: these single crochets, decreases and increases. We make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first stitch we make 7 single crochets. This is instead of a magic ring. We make 2 chain stitches, and in the first we make 7 single crochets. This is already the third single crochet. 4, 5, 6, 7. The first row is ready. In the second row we make 7 increases. In each stitch 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 14 single crochets. Now in the first stitch we make 2 single crochets. In the next stitch we make the second increase in the same way. The third increase, the fourth increase, the fifth increase, the sixth increase, and the last 7th increase. The second row is finished. In the third row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and so on until the end of the row. Repeat the combination 7 times. At the end of the row there will be 21 single crochets. That is, we crochet the entire row in combination 1 single crochet and 1 increase. After the first single crochet, place a marker and mark the beginning of the row. In the next stitch, make 1 increase. This is the first time. We continue in the next stitch, 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. This is the second time. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the third time. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the fourth time. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the fifth time. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is the sixth time. And 1 single crochet and 1 increase in the last stitch in this row. This is the seventh time. If you finished with an increase, then you are doing everything correctly. We'll turn the crochet right side out. This will be the inside, the wrong side. This side will be on the outside. So beautiful. In the fourth row, we make 2 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat this combination until the end of the row. Repeat this combination 7 times. There will be 28 single crochets at the end of the row. After the first single crochet, place a marker and mark the beginning of the row. This is the second single crochet, and in the next stitch we make 1 increase. This is the first time. 2 single crochets and 1 increase in the next stitch. This is the second time. 2 single crochets and 1 increase. This is the third time. 2 single crochets and 1 increase. This is the fourth time. 2 single crochets and 1 increase. This is the fifth time. 2 single crochets and 1 increase. This is the sixth time. And 2 single crochets and 1 increase. This is the seventh time. This means that the row should always end with an increase. In this row, we made an increase every 2 single crochets. This was the fourth row. In the next, fifth row, we will make an increase every 3 stitches. That is, in the fifth row, we crochet a combination of 3 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat the combination 7 times. At the end of the row, there will be 35 single crochets. We crochet the following rows using the same principle. That is, we add plus 1 stitch, after which we increase. That is, in the sixth row, we will increase every 4 stitches. That is, the entire row will be a combination of 4 single crochets and 1 increase. In the seventh row, make 5 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat the combination 7 times. Then through 6 single crochets, then through 7 stitches, through 8, 9, 10 stitches. So we'll get to the 16th row, where we'll make 14 single crochets and 1 increase. We always repeat the combination 7 times. This will result in 112 single crochets at the end of the row. Crochet all these rows up to and including the 16th row ourselves. I'll do this now too and show you the result. The end result should look like this. This will be the inside of the pumpkin. This is the outside. As a reminder, there are 112 stitches in the row now. We crochet the next 14 rows without changes. That is, from the 17th to the 30th row inclusive, we make 112 single crochets in each row. We crochet these rows ourselves as well. These rows are done. Look what a huge pumpkin we'll have. This is 30 rows done. Everything is just as I told you. Starting from the next row, we'll make decreases. You can see that I've already attached the yarn twice. That is, I'm now using the third skein. So, starting from the 31st row, we'll decrease and follow the same principle. Now we'll do it in reverse order. The next row is the 31st row. In this row, we'll make 14 single crochets and 1 decrease, then 14 single crochets and 1 decrease again, and so on to the end of the row. In the 32nd row, we make 13 single crochets and 1 decrease and do this 7 times right up to the end of the row. In the next row, 12 single crochets and 1 decrease and also do this 7 times until the end of the row. We'll decrease by 1 single crochet each row until we reach the 45th row, where we'll make 7 decreases. That is, this is how we'll close our crocheting. And in the 45th row, we will make 7 decreases in a row. We will do this ourselves, as we crochet at stuffing. I would like to point out that you don't need to add a lot of stuffing to the pumpkin. This will make it difficult to tighten it later. It will be difficult to form these sections. The pumpkin should be relatively soft. Therefore, we don't add much and crochet the pumpkin ourselves. I will do this now and tell you what we will do next. The main part of the pumpkin is done. The stuffing has been added. I have added 190 grams of stuffing. You can see that the pumpkin is soft, as I told you, that you need to add a little stuffing. Now we will tighten the pumpkin and form the sections. In the 45th row, I have made 7 decreases. You can see that a small hole remains. Now we will make 2 more decreases to completely close the hole. This is not a row, but simply closing the hole. At this point, the main part of the pumpkin will be completely crocheted. This is the first decrease. And the second decrease is finished. This is what the end of the crocheting looks like now. Cut the thread, but leave a tail to pull together the top and bottom of the pumpkin. That is, we need to pull together the center of the pumpkin. Leave a tail of thread about 30 inches. This is how long you need to leave the tail of the thread. Pull out the thread. 3 skeins of yarn were enough. This is how much yarn is left. I am very glad that 3 skeins were enough. Note that we don't make any slip stitches here at the end. Insert the thread into a needle with a blunt end. Insert the needle exactly into the middle on this side. Squeeze the pumpkin to get the needle out and pull the needle out also in the middle. I missed a little and pulled the needle out not exactly in the middle. This will do. Pull out the thread. Insert the needle again into the center, only through the adjacent stitch, to make a tightening later. Pull the needle and thread through the center on this side as well. Tighten the thread, and this way we've flattened our pumpkin on both sides. You can use this thread to form sections in the pumpkin. However, this thread isn't very strong and will likely break when you create these tightenings on the sides of the pumpkin. So leave the thread in place for now, don't cut it. You might need this thread for something. You can tie a knot here to secure it. Press the pumpkin to the desired thickness and tie a knot. This will secure the tightening in place and prevent it from unraveling. This is the base for our pumpkin, ready. I'm showing you from all sides so you can compare it to your result. Now we'll create the side tightenings. Use a thick, non-breakable thread. I used number 10, it's very thick. I fold the thread in half to make it even stronger. At the end, tie both ends in a knot. Attach the thread in the middle. The thread is secured. Pull the needle and thread through to the other side. Now we need to create the side tightenings. First, we'll create the tightening by dividing the pumpkin in half. Like this, we flat the thread on the outside and then reinsert the needle into the middle from the bottom and pull it through from the other side. Now the most important thing is to create a good tightening. To get slices like this, done on one side. Holding the thread through one stitch, move it down again. Move to this side. Hold the pumpkin and tighten the thread again, creating a side tightening. The tightening should be well secured. Now we tighten it on the opposite side, that is, we'll divide the pumpkin in half. That is, we insert the needle here into the middle. We also tighten it. You can repeat this operation several times. So we've created a tightening here. I'm holding it so it doesn't unravel. You can see that I'm running out of thread. I'll attach a new one. In the next step, we'll divide the pumpkin into 4 parts. And then we'll divide each part in half. The end result should look like this, 8 sections in total. So, we'll form the side tightenings similar to how we slice a pizza. Finish making the side tightenings ourselves. By the way, you can try folding our plush thread in half and using it to make tightenings. Just be very careful not to break it. Don't pull too hard, so as not to break the threads. I'm not commenting on anything here, I'm just showing you the process. You can see how beautiful it is. In the end, I managed to create this beige base for the pumpkin. I made the remaining tightenings with the plush yarn that was left over after crocheting, and it just ran out. You can see that this side didn't turn out very pretty. So this will be the top side, and then the tail will be sewn on here. This side turned out better, so this will be the bottom side of the pumpkin. I'm absolutely thrilled with the result. The pumpkin has a very beautiful shape and color, and you can already see the difference in size. On the right is the Alize Veluta, on the left is the Himalaya Dolphin Baby. Now we'll make the tail for the pumpkin, brown yarn. We start as usual, make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first chain stitch we make 7 single crochets. Now from the 2nd to the 7th row inclusive, you need to make 7 single crochets in each row. Turn the crocheting inside out when you crochet. These rows are done, 7 rows in total. In the 8th row, we make 6 single crochets and 1 increase at the end of the row. At the end of the row there will be 8 single crochets. And then in the 9th row, you will need to make just 8 single crochets. These 2 rows are done. In the 10th row, we make 7 single crochets and 1 increase at the end of the row. Thus, at the end of the row there will be 9 single crochets. In the 11th row, we make 9 single crochets. These 2 rows are done. In the 12th row, we make 8 single crochets and 1 increase at the end of the row. In the 13th row, we make 10 single crochets. These 2 rows are done. In the next 14th row, we make 10 increases. 10 increases in the 14th row are done. We have one last row left to make. In the 15th row, we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and continue this way until the end of the row. Repeat this combination 10 times. At the end of the row there will be 30 single crochets. The 15th row is finished. This is what the pumpkin tail looks like now. Make a slip stitch into the next stitch and cut the thread. Leave a short end for sewing the tail to the pumpkin. This thread is good and doesn't wear out. Therefore, you can safely use this thread to sew the tail to our pumpkin. Pull out the thread and tighten it. You need to add stuffing here. The stuffing has been added. Now just put the tail on and sew it on. There is nothing complicated about sewing it on. We insert the needle alternately into the pumpkin, then into the tail, pull the thread through, and sew in a circle. Insert the needle wherever we can. Always make sure the tail is in the middle. This is how I managed to sew the tail to the pumpkin. We won't cut this end of the thread yet. You might need to sew something else, like leaves or curls. So let the thread remain for now. We bend the pumpkin tail in the desired direction to give it a realistic look. The tail holds its shape well. Now let me show you how to crochet a leaf. To make a leaf, we first need to make 10 chain stitches. Here we have made a loop, and now we make chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the chain of 10 chain stitches we have created. From the second stitch from the hook, make 9 single crochets. Make 1 single crochet in each stitch. This is the first single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Done. From here, make 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. And now make a slip stitch in the third stitch from the hook. Here, 1, 2, 3. That is, we make a slip stitch in our first chain stitch. Now make 1 single crochet in the same stitch where the 9th single crochet was crocheted. We make 1 single crochet in this stitch. This single crochet is done. Now, along this side of the chain of chain stitches, we make 8 single crochets. We put this thread inside and crochet it together. This is already the second single crochet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how we crocheted 8 single crochets. Now we need to make 3 single crochets in this very top corner stitch. this stitch is here. In this one stitch, make 3 single crochets. Done. Now, along this side, we need to make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should end up here. From here, we make 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Again, in the third stitch from the hook, that is, in the first chain stitch, we make a slip stitch. Done. Turn the crochet. Next we crochet single crochet starting from this stitch. Starting from this stitch, we will move along this side. We need to make a total of 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You should end up here. The top will be at the bottom. This is how we form the corners of the leaf. This will be the base of the leaf. You should end up right in the middle. In the next stitch, we make 1 increase. The increase is done. Now we make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how the leaf should be formed. Now we form the next corner of the leaf. To do this, also make 3 chain stitches from here and a slip stitch into the third stitch from the hook. That is, into our first chain stitch. Turn the crochet again. Don't skip the stitches. Immediately from the first stitch on this side, make 7 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, make 1 increase here in the middle. That is, we made 1 increase in the next stitch. Now make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll make another wedge, a corner. We'll form these corners in the leaf. Make 3 chain stitches and a slip stitch in the first chain stitch we just made. Turn the crochet and immediately starting from the first stitch, we need to make 10 single crochets. This is the second single crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we make 3 chain stitches again. We create a symmetrical leaf shape. We make a slip stitch in the third stitch from the hook. Turn the crochet and make 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We make a slip stitch in the next stitch and cut the thread. Leave a small end for sewing on the leaf. Pull out and tighten the thread. This is how beautiful the leaf should turn out. Such beauty. We need to sew this leaf to the pumpkin. I specifically made the pattern so that it is convex and can be bent in any direction, like a dried leaf, as it happens in autumn. Sew it tightly to the base of the pumpkin. right here to the tail. Sew it as best you can. It will look beautiful either way. Sew it only on this side, through a few stitches. That will be enough. That is, the leaf is attached to the tail only by the base. You only need 2 of these leaves to make a pumpkin like mine. In my pumpkin, the leaves are sewn next to each other. You sew it however you want, at your discretion. Crochet the second leaf and then sew it on. Now I'll show you how to crochet this spiral, this curl, like a unicorn. We also need to make a chain of chain stitches. This determines the length. Let's make 25 chain stitches. This is the shorter one I have. The left curl had 30 chain stitches. You'll understand the principle now. The loop is made, and now we form a chain of 25 chain stitches. Done. Now, starting from the second stitch from the hook, make 2 single crochets into each stitch. And we do this until we have crocheted all our stitches to the end. Simply make 2 single crochets into each stitch. And they will curl up on their own, forming a curl or spiral. And you'll succeed. This is how we made a shorter curl. For the long curl, we initially made a chain of 30 chain stitches. You can make even longer curl. In that case, make even more chain stitches in the chain. You can make it even shorter than mine. In that case, make fewer than 25 chain stitches. Make the desired number of increases of 2 single crochets into each stitch, and the curl will form into a spiral on its own. This all happens without your intervention. Here I've crocheted a few stitches, and you can see how the chain is turning into a spiral. Let's finish crocheting this piece ourselves. Done. You can see that the spiral is bent the wrong way. Then you need to adjust it with your hands, and it will take the correct shape. This is how beautiful it turns out. Cut the thread and leave a small tail for sewing. Pull the thread out and tighten it. And with the ends of the thread left over from crocheting, sew it to the tail of the pumpkin. Sew it in this position. Everyone makes the desired number of curls, 1, 2 or 3. I'll now make a longer curl myself. I'll make one more leaf. After that, I'll sew on all the details. And I'll show you the finished result. These are the beautiful leaves and curls for the pumpkin ready. And this is my completely finished pumpkin with the details sewn on. The result is an incredibly beautiful pumpkin. I'm showing you this charm from all sides. And here are a few more shots of the orange pumpkin. We'll finish this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really look forward to your feedback in the form of likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. I also have sponsorships set up and always invite you to visit my Etsy shop. I wish you all the best and see you soon.